time is me. Kalosmi, that it is me who in the form of time is controlling the entire world. And so therefore, when we think of time control, it is not that we are going to control the entire gamut of time, but whatever time we have been given, how can we best use it? So the first aspect, if we want to really manage our time, is to track our time, is to see where all my time is going. And unexamined, if you are not even aware, if you don't even track, then where is the point in controlling it? Those of us who want to put down our weight, we have to track what all we eat. So anything that you want to manage, control, first you need to track it. And so do we have are we actually tracking our time, or we just dependent on the society or the events in the world? Like I guess from today IPL is starting. So IPL tracks your time. That these things become the way by which you. But actually we should track based on what is important, and then we should see where all we are spending our time. How many hours do we have in one day? 24. In a month, approximately 30 days. 720. In a year.
365
hours.
The days,
Hours. I guess we'll need a calculator. So let me put this up. That if we have an average 65 years of our life, then 22 years of our life goes in sleeping. 8 hours is one third of our life goes in sleeping. Then daily routine like taking bath and other things, 2 to 5 hours goes. Meals in eating, 5 to 5.5 years goes. In commuting, एक जगह से दूसरा जगह जाने में, बॉम्बे में तो ये ज़्यादा होना चाहिए, this is in the west, 5.5 years. And work is 16 years. And for miscellaneous things, 2.5 years. Then relationships, 11 years. In that way, the whole time goes. And Prahlad Maharaj in the Bhagavatam, when he's speaking of how do we, because the children, these friends, they were joking with him that we have a lot of time. So why to do spirituality now? Why to practice spirituality now? बाद में करेंगे ना, जब बूढ़े हो जाएंगे, तभी बहुत time रहेगा, then we will practice. So that time he gives a tracking of the time, and he speaks this. He speaks Pumsho Varsha Shatami Ayus. So he's, of course, the stats I showed was 65 years. This Prahlad Maharaj is saying that Pumsho, for a normal human being, Varsha Shatam, he Ayus, is that 100 years is general the lifespan. Tadardham Chajit Atmanaha. But one who has not controlled his time, his senses, his time, half of it goes Nishphalam Yad Asau Ratraya. Half of his time goes in sleeping, which is practically a useless. Of course, in one way it is rejuvenating the body. In other ways, if you just the car is parked. Shete Andam, And when he is woken up, also he is actually overcome by ignorance and is wasting his time. And then he goes on to say that the first 10 years of our life goes in just playing sports, and the next 10 years goes in academics. Oh, I want to improve. Usually till someone is crosses 10 years, इतना एकेड्स के बारे में इतना शायद सीरियस नहीं होगा. ऑफकोर्स आजकल तो नर्सरी से ही उसको स्ट्रेस देते हैं. You need to prepare for IIT, for this and that. I saw a billboard in Hyderabad, hot cake for all these preparations. It was for a school, and the school had a child thinking of two things. What should I choose? And the child is thinking, should I go to MIT or should I go to Harvard? And the school name was there. That this is what you achieve. So, what do you call it? Too much over exaggeration of the potential. So 20 years is gone in that. Then in the old age, once rest of the time, it goes in taking care of the body, and you're not really capable of doing many things. And when the senses are strong, then we take up responsibilities, we have a family, and just to maintain them, our time goes. Therefore Prahlad Maharaj says, so although you may think there is a lot of time, but if you actually track your time, we don't have that much time. Therefore we should value the time that we have. And many of us have this disease of procrastination, that kal karenge, आज करे सो कल करो, कल करो से परसों, इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है जब पड़े हैं बरसों. But one who is serious, one who is interested in spiritual growth, Chanakya Pandit says, if you are interested in spiritual growth, think that you may die any time, or this may be your last day. But you don't have that much time. And if you think that, oh, I want to enjoy, then you can think that I'll never die. मैं कभी मैं नहीं मरूंगा. This is a nice thing about why students don't have time to study. So it says that there are how many Sundays? 52 Sundays in a year. So 303 days are only left. Out of that, there are 50 summer days when the weather is too hot, so it's very hard to study. And only 263 days are left. Then 8 hours daily sleep, that means 122 days. Then and 1 hour for sports, to keep health. Then 126 days are left. Another 2 hours for eating, because you have to chew the food correctly. Again, it comes down, the number comes down. 1 hour for gossip, social media, very conservative number. Then the number of exams that are there per year, at least different days exams are there. Again, time is gone. Holidays and legal days of festivals, other things. 40 days are gone, 6 days are left. And some days you are sick, so 3 days are only left. Then you go for movies, other things, only 2 days. And only 1 day is left. And that day is your birthday. And who studies on his birthday? So many times we get into this trap that you actually have a lot of time. Of course, this is a joke. So therefore, we need to know the importance of time. I think I told this story that I don't know if it's a true story or it's many stories are somehow put on some famous personalities. If you see sometimes even Gaur Gopal ke upar बहुत सारा कोट्स आते रहते हैं. एंड आई गो एंड आस्क गौर गोपाल, प्रभु जी आपने बोला क्या? बोला नहीं. So this particular story is attributed to Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata had an employee who was always losing his pen. वो पेन घुमा रहा था. So then Ratan Tata gifted him a golden pen. And then he stopped losing it because now he values the pen. ये सोने का है. So when you know the importance of time, and so first is to track that do we actually have that much time? Like even living in as a brahmachari in the temple with hardly much job going, other things. Today I was so busy with meeting this and that, and today's topic was time control, and didn't have time to take a bath just before the class. This is like very rare times where I don't. And this I've seen this many times. When you take a topic, Krishna tests you. एक बार Gaurampu had gone to MIT, and the topic was anger management. And there the projector was not working in MIT, and they were trying to fix it. And before he would speak the topic, Krishna was testing him. Can you actually manage your anger, control your anger? So similar thing, packed with some unexpected things. So the importance of time, importance of the time that we have is also there. Therefore, it is said that if you feel something is important, we will make time. And sometimes you say, if I have time, I'll do this. But for those things that are important, we will make time. So nobody will have time. Everyone has to make time for it. And that's what with even spirituality or anything. There's another thing that is attributed to Narayana Murthy. I don't know if this is true, but Narayana Murthy, I quote him, that if I want something to get done, I give to the most busiest person in the office, not to the person who is free. Because the reason the guy is free is because he is not taking up something properly. Therefore, I give to somebody who is busy. So to know the importance of the time that we have or the task and to make priority for it. This quote, this poem is that if you want to know the value of 1 year, importance of 1 year, ask somebody who dropped out of वो जिसका केटी लग गया. I won't ask किसी का केटी लगा है इधर. Recently one boy came, and what happened was he studied entire year for a particular course, and when he filled up a wrong form, गलत फॉर्म उसने भर दिया, and that exam only happens once a year, and this boy was so distraught, इतना डिस्टर्ब था वो. सर मैं 1 साल पूरा मेरा गया है क्योंकि फिर से मैं एग्जाम देने के लिए 1 साल लगेगा. So I'm feeling so low, what should I do? So ask a person who has failed a grade, one of the earlier 1 month, ask a mother who has given birth to a premature baby. Very difficult. That 1 month, last 1 month of development, वो जब नहीं होता है तो a lot of health issues can happen. If you don't want to know the value of 1 day, ask a daily wage laborer. COVID time, So those of us who had savings, it didn't matter much. You could just order things. You know the value of 1 hour? Ask a lover. Know the value of 1 minute? Ask someone who has missed train, long distance train. ये तो local train तो आ जाएगा. फिर भी उसमें भी लोग नहीं मिस करना चाहते. 1 second, ask someone who has missed an accident. just like. And 1 millisecond, somebody who came second in Olympics. So the value of time we will only know when we lose it. Therefore, this saying is there by Chanakya Pandit. Nashtadavyam labhyate kashta sadhyam. If you lose something, by working hard, you can gain it. Nashta vidya labhyate abhyasa yukta. If you missed something to study, by studying by practicing, you will gain that. Nashta rogyam supacharei susadhyam. That if you lost health, arogya nashta arogya, then with proper medication you can gain health. Nashta velaya gata sa gataiva. But vela is time. In Telugu also, Telugu or some languages, vela means time. So Sanskrit, so nashta vela. But once you lose some time, nashta velaya gata sa gataiva. That जब कुछ गया तो वो चला गया. So therefore, first is to know where are we all spending our time. There is not AC. AC का शायद उनके पास हो. Anyone having remote or ask the security. So one and in life, knowing the urgency and the importance, there is this very famous time management principle which you all know, this story of the big rocks and the small rocks. सबने सुना होगा? Once in a college, this professor was showing that how do you fill this jar optimally. And he first tried to, he did in a reverse order. पहले उसने सबसे easiest क्या है? Sand. Just pick up sand and put it. And after he picked up, then he put some other rock, something, and not everything went in. Then what he did is he emptied the entire thing. Then he put the big rocks in the jar. And after he put the big rocks in the jar, he put the small pebbles, छोटा pebbles, and उसको थोड़ा shake किया. So when he shook it, then वो जहाँ gaps था उधर बैठ गया. और उसके बाद he put the sand डाला उसमें, वो jar में. Again he shook it. Where all the gaps were there, it all went in. And after that he put some water. और पानी भी उसमें गया. In this way he could optimally, fully pack the entire jar with all these things. And this is called as the main rocks first. Imagine if we had put the unimportant or less valuable things, say the water or the sand. When he puts the bigger things, all that will spill out. And unfortunately, many of us, we are very disciplined in unimportant things and highly irregulated in important things. An example I'll give is about पहले के ज़माने. If there is a particular serial, this कुछ serial आएगा या कुछ IPL आएगा, so very disciplined, और वो time पे वो करना ही है. Whereas it is not that important. And important things, we think, if I get time, I will go for jogging. If I get time, I'll do this, I'll do that. So instead of instead of making the first task important things, we usually space out. And then we try to do the important things, which doesn't actually fit the bill. So therefore, what are the important rocks in our life? One is health, another is family, another is spirituality, and also in the daytime work. At different times, different things will have priority. और पहले इनको सेट करो, track and you give priority time to these things. What time I will do these things. And if you don't plan and if you just think time मिलेगा तो करूँगा, it will never happen. Therefore, we will never have time. We will have to make time. जो जरूर जिस one who for whom we feel important, उनके हम समय बनाएंगे. समय है या नहीं है. Therefore, this in time management principle, this quadrant is there. Some things are important, but not urgent. Say you have to pay your property tax. It is important, but you have 1 year to pay. It's not urgent. Okay, बाकी का मैं आपको पूछूंगा. Important but urgent. उसमें क्या आएगा? Something that is important but also very urgent. Huh? Health checkup. It's important, but usually it's not like आज ही करना पड़ेगा या अभी करना पड़ेगा. Important urgent में क्या आएगा?
Bills with due dates.
Bills with due dates.
Like property you
हाँ, लेकिन डेट है ना. तो मैं वही बोल रहा, important but not urgent. You know the dates. Some things, no. वो बाद अगर आप डिले किया तो everything will become important and urgent.
Serious health condition,
Taking
taking admission in hospital by paying.
admission in hospital.
Your spiritual studies.
Spiritual studies. Urgent नहीं है, time है ना. Going to washroom. Recently, all of our brahmacharis had health checkup, and because a lot of these cases are happening sudden, heart attack, this that, and so all of us were told, चलो सबका yearly health checkup होता है, जो yearly होता नहीं usually. So we were all told, आपका सबका सोनोग्राफी होगा, सब पानी पी के आना, क्योंकि सोनोग्राफी the bladder has to be full. और सब लोगों ने पानी पी लिया, एकदम एक लीटर भर के पानी पी लिया, पानी लेके भी गए. And bladder is such a thing, once it's more than half full, it starts to demand, release me. Sorry, wrong example, but it's a reality. और जाते ही सोनोग्राफी नहीं किया, वो 2D एको कर रहे हैं, बाकी कर रहे हैं, और सब लोगों के माइंड में एक ही है, ये सोनोग्राफी कभी होगा. And I remember the moment sonography test happened, these brahmacharis, उनका माइंड में और कुछ नहीं था. वो धोती भी थोड़ा लूज करना पड़ा, वो धोती भी बांधा नहीं, वो धोती पकड़ के वो हॉस्पिटल में भाग रहे थे. Where is the watch? So nature's call. Some of us might have great ability to actually control, but when it becomes like Radhanath Maharaj says, first it's a whisper. Nature's call, first it's a whisper, then it's a gentle reminder, then it's a cry. Hey bhai, mar raha hu. Then it becomes a shouting, then it becomes yelling. Krishna used to do this prank. Vrindavan, morning time. Nowadays, the usual standard is that the moment you get up, the nature's call should come. That's a sign of good health. So Krishna, very early morning, used to wake up and used to go and lock someone's door. Bahar. Because Vedic time mein, the toilets were not in the house, they were outside. One of our devotees says that पहले के ज़माने में घर में खाते थे, बाहर जाते थे. अभी बाहर खाते हैं, घर में जाते हैं. And they used to, Krishna used to lock. And they used to come, they used to go to this whole whisper, reminder, call. And they used to yell at that, अरे release us. Then Krishna used to, आजकल बहुत सारे prank videos आता है ना. Krishna was the first prankster. Of course, it was a way by which he was, testing them. It's a fun time. So nature's call or some other thing, health emergency, important, urgent. Important, not urgent. Studies. अभी एडमिशन लिया है. इम्पोर्टेंट अर्जेंट कभी होगा? कल एग्जाम है तो, या एक हफ्ते में एग्जाम है. Otherwise it is important but not urgent. And our tendency is, unless something is urgent, keep postponing it. And we are always in this, do it today more. कि जब तक आज करना ही है तब तक हम करते नहीं, हमारा वो बीमारी हो जाता है. So if something is important and urgent, then we have to do that. उसमें कुछ ऑप्शन ही नहीं है. And if something is important but not at a stage where it is urgent, then schedule it. अगर आप शेड्यूल नहीं बनाएंगे कि ये पर्टिकुलर दिन ऑल्दो अर्जेंट नहीं है, मुझे करना है, जब तक आप शेड्यूल नहीं करेंगे वो नहीं होगा. वेदर इट्स चैंटिंग, वेदर इट्स स्पेंडिंग टाइम विद फैमिली, वेदर इट्स हेल्थ, वेदर इट्स रीडिंग, वी हैव टू शेड्यूल. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So we have to make a plan कि कभी कभी किसके साथ कितना समय I need to spend. So which is a very important aspect, important not urgent को हमको schedule करना है. ठीक है. Now I'll ask, not important but urgent क्या हो सकता है? अर्जेंट है लेकिन इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. नेचर्स कॉल तो इंपॉर्टेंट भी अर्जेंट भी, बट कुछ समथिंग इज वेरी अर्जेंट कि अभी नहीं करोगे तो मिस हो जाएगा, बट इट इज नॉट दैट इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाट कैन इट? मूवी, मैच, एजुकेशन. नहीं, एजुकेशन इज इंपॉर्टेंट. It doesn't come into not important. Yes, today there is a match. It's urgent. नहीं देखोगे तो बाद में तो पता चलेगा. तो बाद में कोई फुल मैच तो देखता नहीं कोई. चल तो तभी आता जब लाइव चल रहा और पता नहीं कि क्या होगा, कौन जीतेगा. बट इट इज नॉट दैट इम्पोर्टेंट. आपका जीवन में कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है, वो देखो ना देखो. Once one of our devotees was traveling from Grand Tour Station to here in a taxi, and this taxi guy was highly morose. तो क्या हो गया? सर आज पूरा दिन बर्बाद हो गया. तो क्या हुआ? सर आज इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच चल रहा था, तो मैं गाड़ी रोक के एक जगह देख रहा था मैच, क्योंकि मैं देखूंगा तो मेरा सपोर्ट इंडिया जीतेगा. और सर उसमें हम बहुत बुरी तरह से हार गए, तो मेरा आज का पैसा भी नहीं मिला और वो जो मेंटल हैप्पीनेस था, इंडिया हैज वॉन, वो भी नहीं मिला. सो नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग्स दैट आर नॉट दैट इम्पॉर्टेंट. इफ यू हैव टाइम देन वी कैन डू somebody calling for some party something, कितने सारे किटी पार्टीज होते रहे. इसका बच्चे का सेकंड बर्थडे, फिर उसका ये, फिर उसका वो, सो मेनी. आजकल तो कंटिन्यूअस रोज कुछ ना कुछ किसी का होते रहता है. सो इफ समथिंग इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड नॉट अर्जेंट ऑल्सो, एलिमिनेट इट. स्टॉप डूइंग दिस. कि जो जरूरत भी नहीं है और जो अर्जेंट भी नहीं है. यू हैव सम विश, कुछ ऐसा चीज है कि अरे मुझे मेक्सिको के बारे में जानना है, क्या क्या सिटीज है, No need to know. Nowadays all these videos come कि वो क्या लखनऊ के कोई गली में कौन सा प्रकार का खाना बनता है. So many videos are made, food videos. हम बैठ के देखते रहते हैं. कभी उधर जाएगा नहीं, खाएगा नहीं, but देख रहे. So not important, not urgent. And those which are not important but urgent, try to delegate it to someone else. कि कुछ चीज लेके आना है या कुछ करना है, so you delegate it to someone else. You ensure that thing happens, but you don't have to personally spend so much of your time. So this is a very powerful matrix. If you follow it, you will find lot of time, because basically when you are scheduling and follow the schedule, of course sometimes we become so conscious of the schedule that sometimes people wear these फिटनेस गैजेट्स और से आज मेरा 10,000 स्टेप नहीं हुआ तो रात को 11 बजे भी वॉकिंग करने जाए. So not like that, not hooked on to that, but basically have a schedule in place. And even I try to go by this matrix. Many of us we go by this matrix. ये सब unconsciously करते हैं हम, but अभी consciously करेंगे, then you'll have more power, more time, more control.
This not important and urgent. So something that is urgent, how can it be not important?
I give example, right?
You give an example of
Like
a
a-
party or a match.
A party or a match. उधर जाना जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन अगर जाना है तो अभी जाना पड़ेगा. It won't happen later. Things like that. Like they say in the West, when they give a wedding card, and when they say, "Oh, I'm not in town at that time," they usually say, "Oh, doesn't matter, you can come next time." फिर से शादी होने वाला है मेरा, तभी आ जाओ. So things like someone's marriage. अभी नहीं जाएंगे तो फिर, but सबके शादी में उतना समय जाने का you have to prioritize. Right? Sometimes nowadays all this haldi, sangeet, so many events, and so not that important that किसी का रिश्तेदार का है, but because it is entertainment, so much of our time, especially entertainment things, fall into this. And that's our next topic. Next, tip is social media or media consumption. There's so much time that's wasted in media consumption. Somebody did a statistic, scrolling. You know how much we scroll per day on average? If you measure it by amount of thing, it is equivalent to the size of a football stadium. Football stadium is 300 feet. रोज का हम उतना scroll करते हैं. We use the small limbs, small joints of our body more, and the bigger joints less. Ideally, God made bigger joints for more movement, smaller joints for less movement. But in Kali Yuga it has reversed. ये जो मेन लिम्स है, मेन ऑर्गन्स, वो ज्यादा यूज नहीं करते. ये जो बेचारा है कितना करेगा, इसको इतना तकलीफ देते हैं. And sometimes we get carpal tunnel syndrome. The whole nerves are paining, your eyes are paining. One of our servants here, वो देख के ना उसको आंख आ गया, आइस, रेड आइस. और वो क्या देख रहा था, वो एक रहता ना आजकल ऑक्यूलस, VR सेट, उसमें देख. एंड आई शुड टेक एन पिक्चर ऑफ दैट बॉय. उसको जब रेड आइस आया था तभी भी वो उसमें रख के देख रहा था. सो एडिक्टेड. And I remember once when I was studying in IIT Bombay, that time there used to be this video game called as Commando. जाके किसी को शूट करके किसी को सेव करना. One of my friends had it on his desktop. I just casually checked it out. Level 1, level 2. I got also addicted that I spent 2 days. 2 days continuous. Hardly कुछ washroom के लिए उठा होगा. और after the end of 2 days I had red eyes, इतना बड़ा लाल. और तभी मुझे समझा ये फंसने का नहीं. And lately I have observed this. ये जो भी ये जो वेब सीरीज आता है ना, एक भी एपिसोड मत देखो. क्योंकि अगर एक भी एपिसोड देख लिया, ऐसा खुजली डालेंगे आपके मन में, इसने ऐसा क्यों किया, आपको सोने नहीं देते. कुछ भी टच करते आजकल ये वेब सीरीज में, they plan so addictively that you have to consume it fully. And I have been victim to one or two. There is one called as Big Bang Theory. I am from IIT Bombay. उसमें इतना सब scientific jargon है. Sometime I heard one, और वो सब quantum physics ये सब I got hooked onto it. But बाद में it was all very rubbish stuff. It was not at all about science, but because of the addiction. कोविड टाइम में ऐसा टाइम वेस्ट भी होता है. उसके बाद मैंने टाल दिया, कसम खाया. ये कोई भी वेब सीरीज कितना भी वो आ जाएगा थोड़ा सा, डोंट टच दैट, वो पूरा खा जाएगा. सो सोशल मीडिया इज वेरी डेडली, दैट दे एडिक्ट यू. एंड दिस यूट्यूब शॉर्ट्स बोलने के लिए शॉर्ट है, बट दे एक्चुअली ईट अप द मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. मोस्ट टाइम कुछ 2 घंटे का एक लेक्चर होगा या कुछ वीडियो होगा, कोई इतना उसको व्यूज नहीं है. बट एक शॉर्ट डालो छोटा सा 30 सेकंड्स का, दैट बिकम्स मोर वायरल. सो इस कारण जितना बोलेंगे उतना कम है. एंड दिस डिजीज इट इज समथिंग दैट वी नीड टू ओवरकम एंड शेड्यूल इट. यू ऑल नो देयर आर टेक्नोलॉजी में देयर आर टाइम कंट्रोल. There are no social screen time controls that you can all put up. My own parents, especially my father, he doesn't know how social media works, especially YouTube. He thinks that whatever comes, you have to watch it. So he keeps on watching. Then I had to put some control, that time limit. That 11 o'clock, वो बंद हो जाएगा. Or it doesn't. And somehow in that culture, if something happens 2-3 times, then they accept it immediately. कि ऐसे ही होगा. So he has come out of it. Otherwise, 12 बजेगा, 1 बजेगा. So even in my mobile, after 10, lock, screen time. And you can, of course, you can always unlock it. So some of our brahmacharis have given that password to someone else. तुम lock करो ताकि मैं. So if you're getting addicted to something, realize it and try to overcome that, because it's not going to help us. And most of the people who are active on social media are known to be lonely and depressed, because one of the things that it actually disconnects. It's actually unsocial. It's called a social network, social media, which is actually very unsocial for the mind and for also. We do take help of it when needed, but we have to see 2 aspects. One is dasha, what stage of our growth we are. Another is disha. So dasha is the speed and disha is the direction or the priority. So dasha means to do the activity right. Like it's called as efficiency. You're doing the जो चीज कर रहे अच्छी तरह से कर रहे. And disha means to do the right activity or effectivity. It's not just to do things right, but also to do the right things. Someone may be excellently doing things, but are they doing the right things in their life? And so efficiency versus effectivity. and this is where our priority and energy comes in. And the amount of time that we also waste. Another is sleeping at times where it is not needed, where we can productively use. We need to. There is a certain amount of time that body needs, and it is usually average of 6 to 7 hours in Bombay. In villages it may be less, but in Bombay 6 to 7 hours is something that if you have a good sleep without anxiety. जैसे बोलते हैं हिंदी में बोलते हैं सब घोड़े बेच के, that in the if you are too taking your day so seriously, what all happened, you can't sleep. At the end of the day you should सब भगवान को देख के सो जाना चाहिए. Like when you take a flight, you check in the baggage and then you can fly light. But if you carry the baggage, you can't sleep. Same with chanting. When you chant, if you take all the baggage with you, then you can't actually do it. And recently, when I was having a flight, I had this good observation. I was coming from Bombay to Hyderabad to Bombay. Now, distance-wise, like if you see two things, point A to point B, the closest distance is actually straight line. Although coming by road, this is the closest line, fastest is actually from the top, where you take apparently जरूरत नहीं ऊपर जाने का क्योंकि पॉइंट तो इधर है. So I was just analyzing. Same way in life, we do a lot of activities, material things, but unless we take the spiritual dimension, which apparently with Arjun बोल रहा है मैं लड़ू की नहीं, and Krishna is speaking about spirituality, God, like भगवान कहाँ लेके जा रहे, क्यों लेके जा रहे उधर? Because there you get a higher perspective and there are less friction. The mind is not struggling because that it's a natural space for the plane to fly, and there it's able to fly. So at times of the day we need to take off. It said just Ram Navami हुआ ना, कभी-कभी in the forest Ram used to be gone from the hut and Sita Devi used to wonder ये कहाँ गया, where did he go? And what he used to do, Ram used to go and just sit with sages. उनके साथ बैठ के he used to hear from them, he used to serve them. It's called as off time. That you take a break to charge yourself. So let's say with chanting, it apparently seemed to be the chanting and your working or your health may not connect it, but that's the fastest way to actually be very effective by taking to Krishna consciousness, taking to chanting. Per second, all these things happen. Per second, there are 18 million text messages, 4.3 million videos are viewed on YouTube, 1 second में, 375,000 apps are downloaded, 1,74,000 scrolling happens. It's a huge 1 second में क्या हो सकता है. And basically all of this is the amount of data that's going, and because of this there is procrastination, that we are delaying things. And there is, if you want to really overcome this aspect of procrastination, alaspan, there's a beautiful TED talk by Tim Urban. किसने देखा ये video by Tim Urban? I'll share the link with you, or maybe during prasadam time we'll discuss same principle of the Gita. So I have a question here. I am postponing as I am in crisis. I am in crisis as I was postponing. Which one is right? क्योंकि पोस्टपोन कर रहे थे इसके लिए क्राइसिस में, नॉट दैट यू नो अभी क्राइसिस में इसके लिए मैं पोस्टपोन कर रहा हूँ. दैट वी हैव टू नो दैट this disease of procrastination, laziness, is the one which it's spiritually also it's a trait of Kali Yuga. Krishna says, Bhagavatam says, prayen alpayusha sabhya kalo yuge sayajana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadrita. There are 5 bad qualities of human beings in Kali Yuga. One is manda. Manda means lazy. Alaspan. That we want to make, do things as delay as things or do the easiest of the things. And sumanda matayo. And intelligence also very low. Or lazy intelligence. They're not really putting your full attention to learn, to grow. And manda bhagya. And they are somehow unfortunate also. They, even if they are interested, they end up going with somebody who is very good at English or has a lot of followers, this or that. And upadrita. And more than anything, they are highly disturbed, very disturbed people. So we are talking about time, and in the amount of time that we have, we also have to put that energy. And if you don't put that attention, and when we are low in energy, then we are exhausted. So एक तो energy down है, उसमें we are trying to put that attention. Like you're trying to call on a mobile which has low power, और ज़्यादा drain होगा. So many of us feel exhausted in our energy because we are putting either more time and attention in something that it doesn't require that much attention. This is a beautiful video. Please see it.
Hi sir.
Give me 6-inch paneer tikka. Include all the vegetables except olives. And sauces and South Korea's main mayonnaise, mustard, and do not forget red cheese.
Hi sir.
ये वाला ऊपर से second वाला कर दो.
Okay, तो फुट लॉन्ग कर दो.
फुटलॉन्ग तो ज़्यादा बड़ा हो जाएगा. अब एक काम करो 3 इंच वाला दे दो.
सर हमारे पास 2 ही चॉइस होती है, फुट लॉन्ग या 6 इंच.
चलो फिर 6 इंच कर दो.
ओके.
ब्रेड हाँ ब्रेड तो लगा दो यार, मैं तो ऑलरेडी ब्रेड लगा खाता हूँ.
सर हमारे पास चॉइस होती है ब्रेड की, कौन सी चाहिए आपको? मल्टीग्रेन होती है, हनी और पाउंड नॉट.
अच्छा फिर वही कर दो ना, वो मल्टी कर दो.
मल्टीग्रेन. ओके. वेजिटेबल्स.
वेजिटेबल्स में एक काम शाही पनीर कोफ्ते कर दो. कोफ्ते मलाई कोफ्ते.
सर हमारे पास जो चॉइस होती है वो वेजिटेबल बतानी है आपको.
यार इतने पैसे ले रहे हैं, पूरे 150 रुपए. सॉरी वसूलूंगा. भैया सारी कर दो, वेजिटेबल सारी कर दो.
सॉसेस.
हाँ रुको, मैं ना घर से पाउच लेके आया था एक.
सर हमारे पास लिस्ट होती है सॉसेस का.
यार ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, मेरे को नहीं खाना. अरे भैया एक बड़ा पाव करना यार.
Anyone had this experience going to a hotel and itna some, it's actually waste of so much of our attention and time and energy कि क्या combination में. The goal is just to fill your belly. So the whole thing is that we are spending too much time and energy on things that are not that important, and therefore then we don't have time to spend on things that are important. Therefore, reverse the way we do things. Let's give time and energy to those things that are important. And then, so start with the big, and then you can slot in the small things that if you get time, yes, I'll do these things. Otherwise, I'll keep postponing. Oh, neighbors के घर में क्या हो रहा है? It's not an important thing. आज टाइम मिला तो पता करो, नहीं मिला तो कल. बट हम क्या करेंगे, हमारा सब छोड़ के अरे जानना है, नहीं तो रात को नींद नहीं आएगी. So we spend so a lot of time wastes that we have, and this is a very good maths. 1 to the power of 365 is 1. अगर थोड़ा सा अगर ऐड करेंगे 0.01 इम्प्रूवमेंट, then over compounding it becomes 37, and same goes अगर हम थोड़ा सा कम करेंगे over course either we'll go down, just रोज कितना कम किया 0.01% ही कम किया, it goes to 0.03. अगर 2% बढ़ाया हमने हमारा एनर्जी फॉर राइट थिंग्स 1.02, see how much is the difference it makes. Now 1 किधर है, 37 किधर है, 1377 किधर है, just with 2% improvement daily. And same with अगर एक कम किया, I think this is 0.98, 0.98, then so much. So bad habit or good habit, if you do it regularly, consistently, you can do amazing things. Otherwise everyone has same amount of time, and the foundation of all that, for any building, for any good house, foundation is needed, and that foundation is the spiritual knowledge of valuing what is important. And then you are not unnecessarily like that. I told the story of cockroach, that don't give your energy to that thing that is not worth that much energy. You need to pay attention, जितना जरूरी है. कुछ झगड़ा चल रहा है, थोड़ा पता करते हैं. Like sometimes there's some violence cases happen in the world, and the Delhi case पूरा फ्रिज में रख दिया था, उसके ऊपर कितना मेम्स बन गया और कितना रोज न्यूज़ में आ रहा था, ये हड्डी कहाँ पे था, ये इसने क्या किया. एंड पीपल आर हुक्ड ऑन टू इट, कि रोज पढ़ रहे थे. एक तो नेगेटिविटी बढ़ता और एक जान के भी क्या करेंगे वो कि उसने कैसा किया. Whether it and many of this it is one thing is to know, another is to just wanting to know every aspect, and which is how media traps us. So we don't need to get so much. So we need to be aware what's happening in the world, but don't spend too much time on things that are not important. Whether it comes to social media, whether it comes to news, whether it comes to other aspects, and this will remarkably increase your amount of time that you spend, because time is energy of Krishna, as I said, that kalosmi lokakshaya krit pravrito, that is time, that is me who is controlling everything. Of course, in the Vedic period, time is cyclic, Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. In the 10th chapter of the Gita, 8th chapter of the Gita, Krishna explains this whole how much is. So one yuga, we are currently in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years, and twice that is the Dwapar Yuga, twice that is the Treta Yuga, thrice that is Treta Yuga, and 4 times that is Satya Yuga. So total is this Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga is called as one Divya Yuga. And like that, there are 72 Divya Yugas, and which is called as one Manvantara. There is a scale of time, like in 1 year there are 12 months. So like this is the scale of time of the universe as given in the Gita. And so this one Manvantara, which is one Divya Yuga, 71 Divya Yugas together, and like that there are 14 Manvantaras. In one day of Brahma is called as Kalpa. So Brahma's one day has 72 Manvantaras, and in that 72 Manvantaras there are this 14 Manvantaras, in which there are 71 Divya Yugas, in which currently we are in the Kali Yuga, and we are living for say 100 years. And this is one day of Brahma, like that he lives 100 years. And this 100 years of Brahma is born from Mahavishnu when he exhales. When महाविष्णु when he exhales, इनके पोर से एक यूनिवर्स आता है जिसमें ब्रह्मा is born, and when he inhales, the universe again goes back to him. So this entire day of Brahma is only one exhale and inhale of Mahavishnu. That's how gigantic is God in terms of time and in terms of space. And not just one universe, so many universes are like that, coming out and going. So we think we have a lot of time, but it's just one breath. And breath by breath, even our time is also going down. Therefore, if we want to really get a hold of our time to spend on things that are important, first is to track where all am I, actually be alert where all am I, and then know the importance of the human time that we are having, human form of life, and be aware of the media that we are getting drained into. And more than time management is actually energy management. कभी कभी टाइम रहता है लेकिन एनर्जी नहीं रहता, क्योंकि समटाइम्स इन ए मीटिंग, इट्स ए 1 hour मीटिंग, बट पहले 15 मिनट में इतना बड़ा धमाधम युद्ध हो गया कि वो एक डिसीजन लेने में सबका एनर्जी डाउन हो गया. And that's not such a important item. Say typical simple scenario. What should be in the menu? कोई बोलेगा साउथ इंडियन, कोई बोलेगा चाइनीज, कोई बोलेगा ये. It's a important decision, but उसके लिए आप इतना टाइम स्पेंड करके how should the crowd should be going, which is very important. उसके लिए एनर्जी नहीं बचेगा. So most of the meetings we take unimportant things पहले, और उसमें इतना सारा ओपिनियन, then important things people are drained. So manage your energy. That it's more than time, it is energy management. And then reverse the thing, the way that do the important things first, and then schedule the important things. And so the acronym is timer. Keep a timer with you if you want to really control time. Have time with us. And great example is Prabhupada. How in 11 years, how much he did. He wrote so many books. He roamed so many places. He counseled, guided so many disciples. And of course, it also comes from empowerment and some aspects of past karma, because of which some are able to do great amount of work in the same time. That elements are also there. But beyond that, जितना हमारा best है, we want to do, then we need to spend time. And I would ask Rajan Prabhu, Padmasaki Mataji, Mita Mataji, because मैं तो आपको लगा ये तो क्या है, इनको टाइम ही टाइम है. I wanted to know some of them to come and share something, how they manage their time. Even I am interested because they have family. Okay. Did he give a wireless? No. What? You can come here.
It's okay, I'll speak with you.
No, take the.
Then I'll come back.
I'll give a short introduction. Mataji, she they stay in Baikala, and Prabhuji is having a business, and they have a nice son, Pratyush. Pratyush is just completed 10th, right? 12th, 11th, 7th, and whole day, not whole day, but a great chunk of time she comes and helps in our park department, many services, festivals. So many of the planning, she is very much involved. So, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I mean, I'm not a great time management. I cannot give you more tips and all, but I would just like to share how I try to balance my material and my spiritual life. So, certain things which I do is like, if in case I know, like Thursdays is evenings are fixed for me to come here. Okay. So then how do I manage the household, manage everything? So a little bit of pre-planning. So pre-planning is something that is very important. Whether when you know you have to, like how when we know we have to travel. Okay. Normally pre-planning we normally do only for travels. We book our tickets beforehand. We start making a list of what all we are going to pack and go and take and all. We even try to pack quite early so that towards the end there's no hassle. But the same thing if you start applying in your day-to-day life, it really helps a lot. Pre-planning. That is the main this which I normally like to do is pre-plan and try to work on it. Like it's a simple thing. If you have one like you say a dinner or a lunch at your place, a family this, how do you go? Like Prabhuji said, reverse. So what is the reverse of that is, you start first decide the menu, then you start what all ingredients you require, you go buy it and all. So same thing when you apply in your day-to-day life. Okay, tomorrow this is what I have to do. Something that I can do previously. A previous day will bring down my load the next day. So try doing it previous day. So pre-planning is an important factor. Each day morning, prioritize your day's work because every day is not the same day. The same things cannot be a priority every day. So at least prioritize your things which will require more time, which has to be done first, which cannot be left out. There are certain things which can be left out, but we don't want to leave them. Try to leave them off. Certain things which we have to do, but we don't want to do not procrastinate. Try to finish it off. If you get into a habit of procrastination, that is the one thing that brings up a burden and a heap of work. And we are not superhumans. We are normal humans. We require assistance. We require help. So, like Roji said, when it's a festival, when we are in the park, what we do is we delegate work. That's how any event, anything goes smoothly is delegation. Try to delegate work. Don't think that I am responsible for everything. Even in your house, you are not the only one who's responsible for everything. Even in your day-to-day life, whether it is work, whether it is home, anywhere it is, you alone are not responsible for everything. Try to, small chunk of work. When delegated, it will give you more time and energy to do a bigger chunk of work, So try delegating your work. And I don't know whether deadlines work, but for me it works because it puts a timer on my head. Like Prabhuji said, a timer. So, but give reachable deadlines. Don't give deadlines that will exhaust you at the end of the day or make you feel guilty of not reaching those deadlines. So set deadlines which you are able to reach, because then you will know something is sticking on your head, So like for us, chanting 16 rounds is a must. Okay, we all have 24 hours, nothing beyond that. Neither do I have anything beyond 24 hours, nothing do you all have anything beyond 24 hours. But 24 hours is not that complete 24 hours that I have in hand, because sleeping, eating, some other essential duties and all will take away certain amount of time. What is remaining is what actually I have in hand, and in that also material and spiritual life has to be balanced. So one thing that cannot be compromised is 16 rounds. Okay, so how do I do my 16 rounds? How do I chant my 16 rounds? Is the first priority when I get up in the morning. Sometimes we have to leave early for a travel, or we have to have something in the house requires early morning this. So previously decide when are you going to chant your 16 rounds. Then you have certain amount of reading, hearing. Okay, that is the part of my spiritual life. Then next comes my material life, where I have to balance my family, I have to balance my child's needs, my husband's needs, my relatives and everything. So how do we manage this is pre-planning. In case if I can finish off something, chanting obviously I cannot pre-chant and say, oh, tomorrow's round I'm going to re-chant. So that is something pre-planning maybe nahi aata hai wo. So it has to be done on that day. So but there are other things, maybe like I mean, very gross examples like tomorrow some dappa has to be made, something. Cut your vegetables beforehand. Something. So just pre-plan. Try to do pre-planning. Okay. In the morning, try to, and like Proji said, don't, every minute is important. Don't try to waste it behind WhatsApp, Insta, Facebook, because we might think like, I'll just check it for 2 minutes. But when we get absorbed in it, and after a thing, oh my god, I actually kind of lost 1.5 hour. But that 1.5 hour would have given you a lead in so many other things, where that is why prioritize. So Insta, Facebook and all should be the last of your priorities, because it actually sucks you up. It's like this one whirlwind, you know, फुक करके सब कर देता है, पता भी नहीं चलता है कि कितना टाइम उसमें चला गया. एंड द लास्ट पॉइंट, डोंट सेव योर एनर्जी. वो जैसे बैटरी को पावर सेविंग मोड पे डालना चाहिए, वैसा बॉडी को भी पावर सेविंग मोड पे डालना पड़ता है. डोंट गेट इनटू टू मच, डोंट हैंडल और डोंट टेक अप सो मच थिंग्स दैट इट विल ड्रेन योर एनर्जी, एंड एट द एंड यू विल जस्ट पुट योर हैंड्स अप एंड गिव अप एंड से जाने दो, मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं करना है, बिकॉज बॉडी ऑल्सो हैज इट्स ओन लिमिटेशंस. सो रिजर्व योर एनर्जी. Thank you.
Wow, powerful. Thank you, Padmasakhi Mata. Mita Mataji. I think I introduced this couple previously also, Mita Mataji and Rajan Prabhu. They also have been very closely connected to the temple. Their children, literally grew up here. Nice devotees, the whole family. So, please share, Mataji, about how do you manage your time?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving this opportunity that we can share a little bit of what we are doing. So, we are right now a family of 4, 2 children who are now above 18, adults only basically. So, actually whatever I wanted to say, Padmasakhi Mataji has already spoken very beautifully, that planning and travel and those points. What comes to my mind immediately is that let's be real first. We need to know our own limitations. Like for example, in my family only, I am a person who is quite wanting to have everything pre-planned. Like I also had the same example of travel in my mind. I'm a person who's, if we are traveling somewhere, mera 15-20 days say I'll start planning things. Kya lekar jana hai, what we have to put in our bags and carry things. And my Prabhuji, my husband, is very spontaneous traveler. उनको अभी बोलेंगे कि you have to go somewhere, he say हाँ चलो चलो चलो, and I will get very hyped. So first let's understand our own selves. Where are we? What kind of a person and what is my nature? Let's understand that. Let's not put things into have to, should to, and we must do. Let's make it our need. Whatever. So when we are talking about time is relative, I feel. Definitely in this Kal Yuga we don't have time. That is for sure. Yet time is relative. A time for an ant to cross this tile and for us is different. There is a big difference in that. So then we have to see what is my time, what is my family's time. I am speaking on a perspective from a woman or wife, a mother and family, extended family, friends everywhere. So we have to have that understanding first. Where am I standing? What is time for me? Is time really running away from me? Will I be able to cover this much? So that is how we have to allot our day, schedule our day, and definitely I'm telling you, kitna bhi allot karo. Man proposes, God disposes, bolte hai, but situations dispose. We get into such situations. So then what to do? Should we blame ourselves? Should we cry about it? It's very difficult. We do that. We all do that. We need to learn. It is our need. Make this whole experience of getting into spirituality, getting into understanding what and why we need to come to Krishna consciousness, or how we need to value this special thing that Prabhuji is trying to give us. So first understand that, get it, make that your need. जैसे कुछ ज़रूरतें होती है अपनी, this needs to become our priority. So then how do you balance it? So definitely we have to be very adjustable. Please don't make it into कि strictly मुझे ये finish करना ही है अभी. That is the time when the problem begins. Let's start managing our mind first, and then things will fall into places. Prabhuji is always there to guide, so he will help you how to go ahead. ऐसे jump नहीं करना है. Your first step that you all have taken is this. This is very appreciable. On a weekday, Thursday evening, you all have made time. Few of them would be working, some are mothers, some are coming from office, some are students. I can see, I think few are students, right? You working. Okay. So you all have taken out time. This is time. And maybe that timer has said somewhere inside that this is the time now. We need to start doing. Please make it into your need. And then only we can grow in spirituality. And we need somebody's help. Definitely. Because कोई हम लोग भी पहले से we were not like into coming to temple, doing some seva, being with the children. It doesn't happen. We need somebody to help. So we need mentors. We need mentors like Brajmohan Prabhuji, who is always there to guide us. He will take us ahead. He will sail us through. He will help us at every step. So coming to my personal life, how I managed. So I'll tell you, वो बोलते ना धक्का लगा के we've reached here, because definitely as a mother, as the woman of the house, I had my own priorities. So then reading, chanting, or attending programs was to be balanced. So how did we do that? So पहले तो 2 round किया, then कुछ घर का किया, again 2 rounds, again we do something. Now that way we started, and baby steps जो बोलते हैं, start with baby steps. Attending programs also was with small children. It's not easy to attend programs. So then we had it in such a way that when Prabhuji used to attend a few classes, he would come home and then he would tell me, these are the things we did. Because that time we didn't have that facility, online essay. COVID has helped us. We should be grateful to COVID because of that we are doing online classes. But we didn't have at that time. So he would come home and he would tell. And that is how slowly, we managed times. That sometimes he would come, sometimes I would be there for that class, and then I would go home and relate and tell him the whole thing, kya kiya hai. So look at yourself, understand what you are first. Make it your need, and then go hand in glove with time, and then the timer will work for us. Otherwise, it's difficult. And definitely take help, take guidance. Guidance is the utmost important thing which is required. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mita Mataji. So we're just short of time. Although I would have wanted Rajan Prabhu will speak next time. So just tell about what we are going to discuss next week. Next week we are going to take this topic of mind and diet, about chanting, about how do we chant properly, and about diet. So spiritual dietetics, this is the topic we are going to take next week. And next week I'm traveling on Thursday onwards. So Wednesday we'll have to do, if you're okay. Not Wednesday. Then we'll have to postpone to next week after that. So week after that, Thursday we will do. Okay, so week after that we'll meet on Thursday for this topic. And yes, we can definitely be in touch. And those of you who want to be connected, the devotees are here to help out for a week. And now also you can break for Shayan Darshan. Shayan Darshan, you can just go up, take the nice darshan of the Lord in the night outfit, sit for a while for Kirtan, and by the time you come down, dinner will be ready to serve. Hare Krishna. AC बंद किया जाए.